The Idol answers the question, how many shots of half-naked and nude women can we fit into 50-minute episodes? The first episode of The Idol just released the other day. I watched it, and it is now one of the worst shows I've ever seen. And we're only on the first episode. Hello people, hope you're doing good. Welcome back to the start of a 6 to 7 part series. I'm going to be watching a show called The Idol for the next few weeks. A show which has had a lot of controversy around it. And a show that has been gaining some really mixed or really bad reviews. Now when I say this show has gone through a lot of controversy, I mean a lot of controversy. Amy Seimetz, or Seimetz, I think that's how you say it, I'm sorry I forgot that wrong. She was the original director, and then Sam Levinson came in, changed the whole crew, and even some of the cast. And apparently he made this a very dangerous show, sends a very dangerous message. The Weeknd, aka Tesfaye, is the producer of this show. He said the show was focusing too much on a female perspective. So Levinson came in and he upped the ante of the sexual scenes, upped the ante on the nudity, and here we are today. There's also some other things as well about the cast and crew being treated wrong. There's also a member of Blackpink who's in this show as well, and you know, it's a big breakout role. People are congratulating her and everything. I know it's revealed that she's only in it for like 3 scenes every episode, says a few lines, and he's pretty much just there to look pretty. And yeah, they're not wrong, judging by this first episode. But what makes this first episode so bad? Well, let's get into it. Let's start off with the characters. Now the sad thing is, this story, this show could be great. It really could be. You could do a great story about a troubled pop star going down a dark path thanks to a seductive individual. As long as you make her flawed but likeable, it's a great story. Unfortunately, the characters in this are the complete opposite of likeable. Jocelyn, played by Lily Rose Depp, is so stupid, so rude. Her dialogue is abysmal sometimes. We'll get to that later. Yeah, she is a pretty unlikable person. She's very two-dimensional. Her mother has just died. And she wants to be more confident and be more control of her body. That's all I know about her. We also get these people who are her agents and people who are reporters from magazines. And they are stereotypes in a way. They are pretty much parodies. They are so over the top. And it was a comedy sometimes. It was an actual comedy. And the show wants me to take itself very seriously. How can I take you seriously when we have over-the-top characters like this that don't feel real? The only character that had a smidge of likability was Rachel Sennow's Layla or Lila. I don't know which way it's said. But she was at least normal sometimes. But she was so annoying as well. She's also incredibly stupid. I don't really care. I'm going to get into spoilers for this show because this is a show I really don't recommend you watch, but I'll say this now. So, there's a bit where her character is in a club looking for Jocelyn, clearly anxious and worried. But what's that? Ooh, there's a hot guy there asking me to dance. Oh, bun her then, swing me around. And there's also a scene later where Tesfaye's character comes through the door to meet Jocelyn, clearly acting like a creep. And Layla does hardly anything to warn Jocelyn about this. In fact, when Jocelyn says some very troubling things about what she wants him to do to her, she never gets majorly concerned. So every character is either unintentionally funny or just unlikable to its core. So I'm pretty much just observing a story about a pop star going down a dark path and having sex with The Weeknd. Wow, amazing storytelling right there.
Terry, would you do the honors?
Why?
Now this show is slowly reminding me of 50 Shades of Grey. Why? Because it's basically just porn. Very disturbing porn. I will say that the first episode was quite tame with what it had. But that's not to say there was still some very disturbing stuff. Honestly, the show features just random shots of naked women for no reason, just making you incredibly uncomfortable. And also there was some very graphic imagery in this show. In fact, one example which I don't want to delve into too much because it's something I really don't want to picture again, even though I'm going to have to now. A picture of Jocelyn gets leaked online, a very graphic one. And they show it around to all her agents. And to be honest, I didn't actually mind this, because we actually see some funny reactions to some of the characters to what was that picture. And it was quite funny sometimes. And if it remained like that, would have been perfectly fine. But no, we've got to show it. And it's unfortunately something that's not going to leave my brain. And I want it to immediately. Just by the first episode, you can tell there's going to be so many things like this. And wow, am I absolutely dreading it. It's so flipping disgusting what happens in this first episode. And when I say this is the tamest, you know we're in for 5 more weeks of crap.
You know, I'm really wired. What do you say I take you home and eat your pussy?
The dialogue is on the level of a Neil Breen movie. But somehow much worse. It either feels so forced and unnatural, or just something a weirdo would say. Like, who on God's green earth says mental illness is sexy? Tell me, honestly. I understand that Levinson wanted to make the characters saying these sort of lines unlikable. But there's a line of unnatural and stupidity that you should not cross. And he jumped that line. And the worst part is the dialogue is so bad. The actors, the really good actors, can't do a great job. Tesfaye the Weeknd, I've never seen him act, but he tries to have this seductive dialogue. And it's so flipping stupid and laughable that he sometimes acts like a 1960s James Bond villain. Just so over the top and trying to act very sleazy. Hank Azaria, aka Gargamel, he can play a very over the top character, which he's trying to do in this show. But again, the dialogue is so bad that it feels like a more mature version of Gargamel. And it just does not work as well. It's just so over the top and laughable. How do you expect me to take this show incredibly seriously when we have dialogue like that mixed in with some very over the top performances because of it? Let's talk about the performances, shall we?
Oh my God!
Now, the performances range from okay to pretty bad. I will say Lily Rose Depp does a pretty good job of what she's given. She's easily the best actress in this movie. She's very good looking, I'll give her that. But yeah, she was alright in this. She did a good job of what she was doing. She was trying the most. Rachel Senow, who plays the one likeable character, yeah, she was good in this. She was not bad. She did the best she could. There's also some other actors who did a pretty fine job as well. But some of the bad performances, as I said earlier, is the dialogue's fault. Hank Azaria, great actor. I think he's a great actor, but in this he's so over the top and really goofy. Again, though, I can't really blame him. It's the dialogue's fault. But the most laughable and worst performance in this entire first episode was Tesfaye the Weeknd. Oh, wow. He tries to act very seductive, very sexy. And it's laughable. And it's incredibly creepy, which I guess is what they were trying to go for. But maybe try and balance those two ideas, instead of just making the creepy tone rise up to the edge of the earth. Honestly, the scenes that he was in, trying to act like that, wow, I just wanted to just shut down my computer. There's one scene where he tries to pull off this seductive smile, and honestly, he was a couple of inches away from making that Jim Carrey face. He tries way too hard. And don't get me wrong, I'm glad that he's trying, because it's clear that he really wants this show to be good, but honestly, like, it just does not work. I'm sorry, mate, but stick to music. So is there any good qualities about this show? Yeah, I think the cinematography and direction is quite good. There is some very nice shots throughout the episode. The show overall has this weird 70s, 80s style over it, and it looks really good set for the time. So, aesthetically, visually, the show is pretty flawless. And I already said about the acting, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, the Idol episode 1 is abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. It's actually really, really, really disgusting sometimes. And as I said earlier, this is the tamest thing ever compared to what I think is going to happen next. Unless you really, 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 really need to watch this show, don't lay a finger on that spacebar button when you go on HBO Max and thinking of playing it. You will regret it, trust me. I'm putting myself through 6 weeks of torture for you guys. You should be thankful, honestly. I'm not getting paid for this. I do this on my own accord. God give me strength. So yeah, so far, The Idol is going to get a 1.5 out of 10. It is absolutely abysmal. The story so far is crap. The characters are unlikable. It's so flipping uncomfortable and disturbing. The dialogue is easily the worst thing about this show so far. Honestly. So yeah, people, I'm going to be reviewing episode 2 next Friday. But Tuesday, I'm going to be reviewing Transformers Rise of the Beast. Quite excited for that film. But yeah, guys, that's it for the end of this review. I hope you all enjoyed. I certainly enjoyed talking about it, but watching it and thinking about some of the things that were in it, wow. But I hope you all enjoyed this video and me pretty much breaking down in front of you. If you have seen the first episode of The Idol, what did you think of it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know your thoughts. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. Have a good day. And see you later.